Cleanup is underway in parts of Wisconsin after historic rainfall and flooding from over the weekend.
And is there any more rain in the forecast for this very wet southern Wisconsin? We'll take a look in just a few minutes.
Plus, we hear from the Wisconsin DNR and how the state deploys resources during severe weather events like what we saw over the weekend. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson.
We begin with that historic flooding continuing to impact parts of Wisconsin after heavy rain fell in many areas across the state.
There was so much rain in the Badger State on Saturday that it could mark a new state record. One city rain gauge measured more than a foot of rain in 24 hours.
One city rain gauge, as we mentioned, with all that rain in that measurement, if confirmed now by forecasters, that would break the previous state record of just under 12 inches. That was set way back in 1946. Milwaukee County also declaring a state of emergency Sunday as the Milwaukee River crested at a record of more than 11 feet. Milwaukee's fire department performing dozens of water rescues. Meanwhile, in our area, south central Wisconsin, people are cleaning up after also getting heavy rain and flooding on Sunday.
And we have team weather coverage here in the studio, also out in the field. Let's start with News 3 Now's Jalen Banks with how Dane County Emergency Management is preparing for more severe weather events like this. Hi, Jalen.
Sarah and Eric, over the last few hours, it's been well documented how all the heavy rain that we received in southern Wisconsin led to flash floods, devastating many cars, homes, businesses, you name it. I had the chance to speak with the Dane County Emergency Management team on their preparedness as we continue to see more severe weather events such as the ones over the weekend. Over the weekend, floods and heavy rain tore through southern Wisconsin, leaving parts of our viewing area with over half a foot of rain in the last 72 hours. And meteorologist Blaise Keller of our weather team says recent warm air conditions is what contributed to the heavy rainfall.
At times, the precipitable water, which is a tool we use as meteorologists to see, essentially, if you were to wring out the atmosphere like a wet towel, how much water would fall from the atmosphere? And at times, it was 2 inches over all of southern Wisconsin.
And what we saw is consistent with recent data. The city of Madison breaking its daily rainfall record from 1887 on August 10th by nearly half an inch. According to climatecentral.org, the upper Midwest has seen a 45% increase in heavier downpours between 1958 and 2021. If this trend continues, chances are we'll see rain events such as the ones from over the weekend more often. I had the chance to speak with the Dane County Emergency Management team on what their steps are after these rainy 72 hours.
Few months. And so really, we're working as much as we can in order to ensure that our local partners, being municipalities, other county departments, police and fire, have the resources that they need in order to respond should there be some sort of incident in their community.
And Beckett says the work is nonstop for their department.
So emergency management really kind of works on a constant cycle where we are either responding, reviewing, and working on recovery, or we're planning towards the future and working to mitigate risks.
Now, the Dane County Emergency Management team shares with me that in the coming days, they'll be sending some of their staff out to Milwaukee County and Milwaukee to help them assess the damage that they had received over the weekend from the flash floods. Now, for now, reporting in Fitchburg, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, Jalen, thank you. Let's go to meteorologist Blaise Keller right now for a look at our first warn forecast. Hi, Blaise.
Hello, and as I mentioned, more rain is in the forecast for central and southern Wisconsin this evening through Tuesday night. But the good news is, folks, it's not looking to be at that excessive level like what we saw over this past weekend. So Future Track is going to bring in some scattered shower and thunderstorm chances as we go into the midnight hour through early Tuesday morning. But notice a lot of southeastern Wisconsin is underneath that threat for the heavy rain as we go overnight into Tuesday. That's not to say that folks further south and west won't see rain, but in terms of maybe more rainfall or hit a couple of times, southeastern Wisconsin is likely going to be experiencing that. A cold front moves through as we look to end the afternoon hours on Tuesday. That is going to push all of this moisture, all of this rain chance off towards the east. So we will start to dry out as we go later Tuesday night and remain dry for Wednesday and Thursday. In terms of how much rain we could see between now and Wednesday afternoon, an additional half an inch to an inch of rain for anybody in the blue. Again, while it's not excessive, we're coming off of a very wet 72 hours, so even these little bits of rain could lead to minor flooding in some low-lying areas or places that are still dealing with standing water. So keep that in mind, and again, never cross a flooded area, turn around, don't drown. Here is a look at just how much rain has fallen over the last 72 hours. The oranges, the dark reds indicating about 5 inches of rain, if not more, and obviously towards Milwaukee, you're seeing it on your screen. Those yellows indicating at least a foot of estimated rainfall falling over the weekend. So after Wednesday and Thursday, do we see any more rain chances return to southern Wisconsin? We'll track that out in the full forecast.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Well, the storms across Wisconsin drew a response from multiple state agencies.
And that included the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. Our political reporter Will Keneally explains how they helped many residents who were stranded by this flooding. Will?
We might expect a normal day for a DNR field warden to be out checking fishing licenses on the water, but it's exactly that boating expertise which comes into play with a major flooding incident like this.
I've been with the Department of Natural Resources for just a little bit over 12 years, and I have never seen anything like this happen.
The Milwaukee flooding this weekend was no joke. Over 2 days, the area saw more than a foot of rain. If we use an average 10-to-1 ratio that meteorologists use to compare this to snow, Milwaukee got the equivalent of 120 inches. If the city sees an average of 4 feet of snow a winter, that's like 2.5 winters worth of snow, all in one weekend.
But for this kind of sheer amount of rainfall that we received in a short amount of time, I've never seen anything like it.
That's when some of those local DNR wardens stepped in to assist local fire departments in those rescue efforts.
In situations like it was on Saturday with the waters rising and the swift currents and the needs from citizens that are stranded above cars, on top of cars, or in their houses just to get to safety.
After helping out over the weekend, many of the wardens returned to their day jobs, but they remain ready to help in case of more storms.
If the call does come in, we don't put our gear up, and after we're done assisting and kind of forget about it. We're still ready. We're prepared if things do ramp up again.
Now, in addition to the DNR, the Wisconsin National Guard provided some assistance to the Milwaukee area as well. Now, Governor Evers has said on Sunday that he has remained in contact with local officials to provide them that state assistance.
Will, thank you. And you can track the forecast for yourself with our First Warn Weather app, hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Right now, the Richland County Sheriff's Office is looking for a missing man. This is 43-year-old Joshua Ray Clark. He was last seen Friday at his home on County Highway C in northern Richland County. Clark may have been traveling in his car or on foot with an acquaintance. He left his personal belongings and medicine behind. If you have any information about where Josh might be, you're asked to call the Richland County Sheriff's Department.
Right now, the Sun Prairie Area School District is having a board meeting. This is the second meeting since the former dean at Sun Prairie West High School was charged with child sex crimes. Just weeks ago, the Dane County District Attorney charged Robert Gilkey-Meisegeyer with 15 charges, including 13 counts of possession of child pornography and 2 counts of child sexual exploitation. Gilkey-Meisegeyer will be back in court on September 2nd. And this right now is a live look at that school board meeting which just started. A criminal complaint says that he had sexual contact with at least one student inside Sun Prairie West High School and that he would exchange alcohol for inappropriate photos with students. Coming up on News 3 Now at 10, Tanisha Shaw will have reaction from the Sun Prairie community after tonight's meeting.
The man accused of killing a Sun Prairie woman will go on trial early next year. The trial for Gerson Blasnoe will start on February 16th of 2026. The 24-year-old is charged with first-degree intentional homicide, giving false information on a kidnapped or missing person, and hiding a corpse. Now, the charges against Blasnoe stem from the death of 27-year-old Ingrid Valverde Ponce. She was last seen on January 11th. 3 days later, police found her body in the area of Portage Road at State Highway 19. A criminal complaint alleges the two had a relationship and that Blasnoe was the last person seen with Valverde Ponce the night she disappeared. And we now know the identity of the man who died after a crash between a motorcycle and SUV in Fitchburg last week. 54-year-old Troy Lapine of Verona died at a hospital from injuries suffered in the crash on South Seminole Highway. His death remains under investigation. Troy was the System Vice President of Business Integrity at UW Health, and today UW Health released a statement about Troy's death saying, quote, "We were devastated to learn of the tragic passing of Troy Lapine. He was a cherished colleague who always made time to help anyone at UW Health who needed his incredible expertise and always put patients at the center of everything he did. He will be deeply missed. Our hearts and thoughts are with his family and friends at this time.
Well, Middleton police and fire crews say a hazmat spill scene is now clear. News 3 Now heard about this hazmat spill just before noon today. Middleton police say acid fell off a truck in the area of Discovery Drive. The spill closed both lanes of Discovery Drive from Parmenter Street to Deming Way. Those lanes are now back open. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, Habitat for Humanity is expanding into Rock County. We'll tell you more on when they expect the first home to be built.
Plus, the high cost of groceries straining many across the country. We take a look at how a new wave of tariffs could make things even more expensive. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. This is the final week of our Stuff the Bus campaign. In partnership with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County, we're helping local students start the school year ready to succeed. And through Friday, we're collecting essential school supplies to support hundreds of students across Dane County. And you can help by leaving donations at our drop-off sites or contributing money online. You can find all that information at channel3000.com.
Well, the high cost of groceries is straining many people's wallets, and President Trump's latest round of tariffs could drive up prices even more. Some imports coming from Brazil will now face a 50% tariff. That could mean higher prices for things like coffee, sugarcane, and meats. Aluminum goods from Canada are also subject to a 35% tariff, which could mean higher costs for certain soda and canned goods. This rise in prices is not only causing consumers to pay more, but also impacting grocers and manufacturers.
We're seeing some manufacturers play that shrinkflation game where, they're taking smaller size packages, putting less ingredients in them, but charging the same thing or even more.
A recent poll shows 53% of Americans say grocery costs were a, quote, major stress.
Habitat for Humanity of Waukesha and Jefferson counties will be expanding to Rock County. The first build in Rock County is scheduled for the spring as the nonprofit looks to establish a partnership with the city of Janesville. Families interested in buying one of these homes are encouraged to complete an online interest form. You can find that on the organization's website, and we have a link to that at channel3000.com. Still ahead, Black Restaurant Week now underway, the big milestone they're celebrating this year.
Plus, American Family Children's Hospital welcomes some four-legged friends. We'll tell you about the job they'll be doing there.
And will we see any more rain later this week? Blaze returns his complete forecast after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Love this story. American Family Children's Hospital has some new four-legged employees. Jimmy and Cash, both Labrador and Golden Retriever mix, are joining forces with three other dog friends in the Canine Health and Medical Pals program. Oh, there we are. Together, the dogs help the hospital's child life team during procedures, treatments, and also some hard conversations with the patients and families.
I've been able to see the impact that facility dogs, specifically Jimmy, are able to have as part of a patient's coping plan, coping with hospitalization, with procedures, with new diagnoses, and having those dogs there is kind of like a grounding measure.
Absolutely. Jimmy is hard at work lifting spirits in brain-related departments and the child intensive care, while Cash supports the nutrition team.
Right now, the Madison Black Chamber of Commerce is hosting the 10th annual Madison Black Restaurant Week. A total of 33 Black-owned vendors are being featured this year, 17 restaurants, 16 food trucks and caterers. These places are offering exciting discounts, too, special menus and unique dining experiences to showcase their talents. As part of the week of celebration, the MBRW is hosting special events designed to uplift local businesses, build community, and celebrate culinary endeavors. Madison Black Restaurant Week runs until Sunday the 17th. Enjoy the flavors of African American, African, and Caribbean cuisine while you discover local Black-owned restaurants and culinary businesses. Foodies can also vote to crown their favorite MBRW experience.
And now I'm hungry for dinner. Well, Governor Tony Evers is declaring a state of emergency following all of the flooding in southern Wisconsin. Turning to weather now, we have Blaze with our first warm weather forecast.
And there's more rain in the the forecast through at least Tuesday night. We dry out Wednesday. 3 things you need to know. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight through at least Tuesday. Wednesday, we dry out, but it looks like more rain could return as we head into Friday and then further into the upcoming weekend. Another muggy night out there as temperatures only settle into the upper 60s to low 70s. Average low around this time of year in the low 60s. So we are continuing to sit underneath this muggy air mass, and we have yet again another weak stationary almost front moving through parts of Wisconsin. This is what we saw over the weekend. The good news is it doesn't look like it's pulling up as much moisture as what we saw over the weekend. Precipitable water has decreased, but we're still at about an inch or so of precipitable water over Wisconsin. And again, that's if you were to wring out the atmosphere, how much water could we get out of it? So the stationary front is going to pull up moisture out of Iowa. This is one we're going to be dealing with this next round of showers and thunderstorms as we go overnight into Tuesday. Notice how a lot of southeastern Wisconsin and eastern parts of the state going to be dealing with these dark greens and yellows. Further to the north and west, we might miss out on those rain chances tonight into the start of Tuesday. I now want to turn your attention to this little line of clouds here. This is the cold front that is going to push all of this moisture, that stationary front, off to our east. Cold fronts are the strongest of the fronts in the weather world. They are very, very strong. And so this is going to push all of that off to the east. However, along it, we may see a line of showers and thunderstorms. Closer to the center of low pressure, that's where we may see an isolated strong storm or two. Most of our coverage area is not underneath a marginal risk for Tuesday. If we do see any severe weather, it is going to be strong winds and hail. Following that cold front, high pressure right on cue, and that's going to dry us out as we head into Wednesday and Thursday of this week. But as that high pressure system moves off towards the east, southerly winds take back over, we see the return of rain chances. And once again, we are going to watch as a weak little disturbance moves across the area as we head into the weekend. Another, again, stationary front helps pull up moisture out of the plains, and then eventually that pushes off towards the east as well. So these stationary fronts, particularly when we have these very moist air masses, can really cause some of this flash flooding. Now, we have seen a fairly wet July here across parts of southern Wisconsin. Grant County, Rock County, Greene County, Lafayette County, and Walworth counties were the top 5 wettest in Wisconsin throughout the month of July, picking up at least a half a foot of rain, if not more. And if we expand that out to the start of the year, Grant County and Iowa County here locally, the top 3, at least in there, wettest counties in the state. But there could be some good news on the horizon. Could we be drying out, or at least be drier than normal? We'll have to see how Tropical Storm Erin backs up the jet stream, but it looks like that's coinciding with when Tropical Storm Erin may become a hurricane and get a little bit closer to the United States, backing everything up. Maybe she'll help us dry out and hopefully stay in the Atlantic. We don't need a hurricane to hit land, but it's kind of all plays together. Weather out to the east impacts weather here, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that we dry out.
It looked nice toward the end.
Yeah.
Thanks, Blaze.
Thanks, Blaze. And we welcome in our new sports director, Andrew Banstra, to the team. Recently minted. Congrats.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well deserved, I might add. And but I don't know about that Packer game on Saturday night.
Yeah, that was not well deserved, or really anything good you can't say about it. There was one good thing that came out of it. Braylon Allen had a big night. We tell you about the 21-year-old's homecoming that was certainly perfect for him. Next on News 3 Now. After 2 weeks of preparation in Platteville, Wisconsin football returned to Madison today to finish out fall camp at Camp Randall. The Badgers' new offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes, and their new quarterback, Billy Edwards Jr., have spent the offseason focusing on bringing Bucky back to their standard, a mission they say is almost complete.
Literally everyone doing their job to the echo of the whistle. You really have seen some guys kind of take on the identity of Coach Grimes and what he wants this offense to be, so that's been really cool. Seeing the growth from spring ball, could really see some guys kind of mature from the end of spring to summer. Every day we're getting more and more guys that are playing up to the standard, and the more guys we can do that play that way at a consistent basis, I think we'll be, you guys have seen it. We have the opportunity to be a really explosive offense.
Braylon Allen knows a thing or two about playing football in Wisconsin. Of course, he was a force at Fond du Lac and a phenom at the collegiate level as a Badger. But this weekend was a football first for the second-year running back when his Jets played the Packers, giving the 21-year-old a chance to play in his home state for the first time as a pro.
Definitely a special feeling. You know, Lambeau's historic place. I wouldn't say I rooted for the Packers growing up, but you always know about the history in this stadium and in this town. And, you know, it's always special to, you know, run out of any tunnel in this league and be a part of these games. It's awesome to be out there, awesome to be able to play in front of a bunch of family, a bunch of friends. But, you know, I love this place. I love this state, you know, the city of Fond du Lac. It's always good to be back.
Well, the Brewers have won 9 straight games and have the best record in baseball by a full 5 games. They kick off a series against the Pirates tonight in Milwaukee. As for tomorrow, Pittsburgh will have their phenom, Paul Skeens, on the mound, and that's a game that will air on our sister station, Television Wisconsin.
I like that. They may never lose again. Let's go with honestly.
Exactly.
Quick final check with Blaze.
Yeah, scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight and throughout Tuesday, and then we dry out Wednesday, Thursday before more rain chances as we head into the weekend.
Well, thanks for joining us. Entertainment Tonight is next.
And our next newscast is coming up at 10 o'clock. We hope you'll join us. You can always find us streaming as well 24/7 on Channel 3000+.